If ever you are unfortunate enough to be made bankrupt, one of the first questions invariably that you'll want to know is what happens to your house? Now, in bankruptcy, it depends whether that house is your dwelling property or whether it's a property that you have, say, for an investment like buy-to-let. Now, talking about the law regarding your dwelling property or your matrimonial home could probably see this video go on all day. But in essence, anybody who lives in that house with you have occupational rights for the first 12 months of your bankruptcy. In other words, the trustee of your bankruptcy estate cannot deal with your interest in that property in that first year. Now, your interest will be whatever the house sells for, less the mortgage and the costs. You have the net equity, and if it's a joint property, half of that net equity is your interest. The trustee in bankruptcy has up to 3 years to deal with the property, to obtain your interest in that matrimonial property. Now, that can be done in many ways. You could agree to sell the property on the open market, thinking that if you can promote the price, your spouse will receive more equity from the house. You could introduce a third-party offer and negotiate to purchase your interest back off the trustee in bankruptcy. If all fails and that is not dealt with, then the trustee can, just like a mortgage lender, go to court and seek an order for possession and sale of your property. That would mean they take control of the sale and they will realise your interest. They still have a duty to offer the spouse their half of that interest, but they will get your interest nonetheless. And believe me, a trustee will not allow the property position to go unattended, because after 3 years it would revest in you, and so they have no interest. And creditors will not be too pleased with a trustee. In terms of other property, if you have, say, buy-to-let properties, then the trustee may seek to obtain the rentals paid by the tenant. If the trustee does that, he or she still has to pay the mortgage out of that rent. But they could also seek to sell that property. They don't have to wait, they can look at selling it straight away, whether that's with a tenant or whether they evict the tenant and sell the property as it is.